Today we're going to be talking about why we are tearing down our tiny house. To begin with, we're going to start with nobody's lived here in over a decade. And if you look up at the porch up there, you can see where the flashing has allowed the water to seep in behind the siding, and it has rotted that entire front wall, guys, which has allowed the porch roof to drop. Now in Alabama, when you don't live in a house and everything's not heated and air conditioned and well maintained, and to be honest with you, we just abandoned this, the wood siding will rot almost immediately. So all the way around this house, I can literally just grab and the freaking wood just disintegrates, guys. It's pretty sad. And I feel bad because this is primarily my fault. My wife and I built this back in 2006. We lived here for several years and we decided to move to another county. You can see right here, even where this power meter is mounted. I mean, just look how brittle the siding is. It's actually pretty crazy. For those of you that don't know how humid Alabama it is, this is typical. So wooden structures just do not last very long. All of the decks are shot. You can see where the water bounced up onto the back door. It caused major issues there. All of this is rotted down here, or rotten. I mean, it's just disintegrating. I know some people thought we were crazy when we first showed the house and said we were tearing it down. And to be truthful, we rushed this thing, we threw it together, and we never even really completed it. We lived in it while I was pretty broke at the time. We were freshly married, and we didn't paint this side. And I'll tell you, what's odd is this siding on this side did not rot where I did not paint. So it almost makes me wonder if I hadn't painted it, if it would have done better. And I say paint, but that was like a colored stain. So it's not like it sealed the moisture in or it wasn't supposed to, but somehow it did. The deck on this side is completely gone. As a matter of fact, I'm actually kind of scared to walk on it. I'm staying right in line with the joists. And I mean, I can just stomp right through it if I wanted to. Let's go to the inside and show you how bad it is in here. We've used this for storage for a decade. Y'all keep that in mind. And if you hear a dog in the background, that's my parents' Catahoula leopard dog. I believe that's what you call it. He's a big old baby. He's scared of everything. But where that band rotted free right here, it has allowed it to drop. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to come in, we're going to put some 4x4s underneath the post right here to hold it up while we salvage the tin. And I just noticed I got a fly fishing pole still up here from where we had been fly fishing down at the pond. So I need to get that out before we climb up on the roof. So please don't judge us. This is storage. We've not cleaned it or lived here in a decade. And as mentioned, we've kind of loaded this thing down with everything you can imagine. Let me zoom out where you guys can get a little bit of a visual. The inside doesn't look nearly as bad as the exterior, but that exterior is hiding behind that siding, rotted walls, soaked insulation, and we actually took a shortcut with the foundation in this house, and we didn't build the house high enough on off of the ground, which allowed water to rush underneath through the vents out the other side and causing a mildew and black mold issue. So we've got multiple things against us here, and there's just no salvaging it. We are going to save the wiring. As mentioned before, we're going to try to save the wainscoting or this wood siding that you see along the bottom. Everything else is going to the dump. This used to be our living room, though. So when we lived here, we used to have our couch, and on this side, love seat over here. We had a recliner over here. We had two rather large windows over here where we could see the pond out of them. You probably can't see it because it's raining today a little bit. We had a very small kitchen. Really, it's more like a kitchenette. We've already started to take some of the cabinets down in here, so that's why you've got white spots along the walls and cabinet doors missing. And the fridge was over here on this side. We had a little microwave cubby hole. We used that like a pantry up there. It was just me and my wife. We didn't need a ton of space. This wall housed our TV, so there used to be a TV mounted right here. And as you can see, the foundation has settled from the water going beneath it, and it has actually allowed all of the sheetrock to crack in this house. And we did it ourselves, and we are absolutely terrible at doing sheetrock, just to be honest. So in our new house, when we go to build it, there will probably be very minimal sheetrock. Right here to this side, we just had a little laundry, a stackable unit that we set in here and slid to the side. It actually still works. I need to take that out and put it in my shop. Maybe I can wire that up when I build my new shop here. This was the back door that you saw. Look how bad the foundation is. I can barely get the doors open now. We'll open that where you can see a little bit of light. And this was all clean when we left. So as it rotted, some of that rotted wood just let some of the nasty stuff right in here. Upstairs, though, as we make our way up, we might be able to salvage some of these stairs and like the handrail. You see a funky jut out in the wall right here. That was because we have a piece of 4-inch PVC that goes up to the upstairs bathroom. So there was no bathroom on the lower floor, only on the upper. my wife and her mom actually hand painted this tree that you see on the right. Everybody that's been following us on Adventure Archaeology may have seen some of her artwork. This was to house family portraits. So it was a family tree, and there was like portraits on each one of the limbs. And Phoenician plaster was really big whenever we built this house. So these walls that you see, that was done on purpose. It also helped us not have to worry about the finishing of our sheetrock. So as you walk up the stairs, you would go to the right, and I imagine the light bulb. No, it still works. How about that? This was the master bedroom closet. I don't know why I said master bedroom, the only closet. And there was the attic access. And I've got that pushed back because I've been looking up in there and seeing what it's going to take to get this whole thing down. These windows haven't been open in so long that the windows aren't any good. I can't salvage them, but you can kind of get an idea of how close that poplar tree is right there that we're going to be taking down real soon. And this was the master bedroom. So as mentioned, we lived very humbly. There was nothing special about this place. I think all in we were around $30,000 or $35,000 to build the whole place, which wasn't terrible, but it's just not good enough for my family and myself now. It doesn't have the size, too much to repair. So what did we learn? Well, we learned out of the gate that metals and concrete is going to be better. So this was the master bathroom, and holy cow, I don't know what we were thinking when we painted this color. It's absolutely terrible. We did have our shower to the side. The toilet used to be right here. We had a little area right here to keep our stuff. We never finished this house. It's kind of embarrassing, but we didn't have the money back then, guys. I was making like 10 bucks an hour as a CNC machinist when we first got married, and it was a long road ahead to get to where we could afford to do something better. If you look down, the rings on the carpet, I did have my factory wheels off of my Tundra laying right there, and I guess they had armor all on them. Carpet wasn't any good anyways. That's the bumper off the Tundra. And one of the original bottle collectors contacted me, and he was moving. He's like, man, I've got tons of vintage antique bottle magazines. And so all this stuff you see over here is bottle magazines dating back. You can see June 1978. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these. I haven't had time to go through them. These definitely aren't going in the garbage. Some amazing stuff. I thought about selling them in groups, maybe on eBay for people that wanted to look at them. There's some really good info in these. We do have some box springs in here and a bed frame where we just got new ones at our house. As mentioned, just storage here, guys. So where are we going to start? I think we're going to start by taking this porch off. I'm going to walk down there and show you guys something on the bottom. Man, I can't tell you guys how many times I fell down these steps. They're pretty steep. And the only thing that would stop me was the door down here. So what we're going to do, though, is over here, the bottom of the porch that is covered is actually good still. So the 5/4 boards up here are salvageable. So as mentioned, we're going to take 4x4s. We're going to prop this up. We're going to take the tent off. We're going to cut the 4x4s even with the deck. And then we're going to try to remove this whole bottom section right here. It's 8 foot wide by 26 foot long. And then we're going to try to repurpose it into a pier on the lake. So we're going to see if I can move this whole thing and then set it up down there. So as mentioned several weeks ago, we built this place when I was 19 years old. We did it in a mad rush. We built it in a matter of 2 months. We started in October 2006, and by December 2006, we were done to the point of what you saw. We never completely finished the house because I always had in the back of mind I was going to do something better than what we did. The price of $30,000 to $35,000 is a good estimate. You may be wondering how I did that at 19 years old. I was working full time. What I did do, though, was smart at the time, but not super smart. I took out a really, really large Home Depot credit card, like a $20,000 limit, and that's how I actually paid for all the lumber and all that kind of stuff that you see on the house. Everything else was done cash, a little bit at a time. Then I paid the credit card off at I think about year 4, and we actually lived in that house for 3 more years rent-free. We didn't have a mortgage. We didn't have anything. And I don't know very many married couples that had only been married 7 years that their house was paid for. We took advantage of those few years with no mortgage. We put the money back, and that's how we actually moved to where we are now. And now where we live, the area is growing so fast that we've got a lot of equity in our house. So I'm hoping when we sell our house, I can pull the equity back and build a nicer place back on the family land. So it's been one of those things where it's ever changing, and life throws different things at you. But for right now, we're very excited about all of the upcoming projects. I hope that you guys are too. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. We'll see you guys in the next video where we'll probably be tearing something down.